Hello and welcome back to some more Genshin Impact. So I'm going to be continuing Lyney's story quest here. It wants me to rendezvous with him. He's right over here, so let's do this. So it has been several days since I last played, and over the course of those several days, there have been updates. There have been new timed events and stuff. I won't be getting to any of that stuff in this video. I just wanted to mention it, though, right now, because... yeah, I figured why not.
Lynette's not joining us today?
I've had her follow Gemma and see if we can make any inroads with her. They should be at a cafe right now. Still, I don't think that Gemma's likely to open up to us. So, we need a contingency plan.
What should we do, or where should we start?
Today, we'll be looking into a guy named Lorenzo, Caesar's former pupil and assistant. When Caesar passed away, all the stolen goods discovered in his home were confiscated and returned to their rightful owners. But Lorenzo was the only one privy to all his magic secrets, and he inherited his craft.
Okay.
Before long, Lorenzo was the next big magician in town, his fame surpassing even that of his master, and it made him very wealthy. He's since left the magic scene, though, and these days, he's a wealthy businessman with his fingers in a lot of different pies. I had to pull a lot of strings, but I managed to get him to agree to a couple of drinks with me. Be warned, though, I hear he's got a hair-triggered temper. We'd best be careful.
And nothing we can't handle. So, we've got to go... oh, it's right nearby.
You neglected to mention that you were bringing 2 other people with you.
Oh, this guy's gonna be pleasant.
My apologies. These 2 are my assistants. When they heard that I was meeting with the former magic maestro himself, they begged and pleaded with me to bring them along. And if it's no trouble, a couple of autographs would really make their day.
I mean, Lyney did say that he has a temper, so...
Oh, forget the pleasantries, just sit.
Get a load of this guy. Forget the pleasantries, he says, but he looks pretty happy about Lyney stroking his ego.
I only agreed to meet since we're both magicians. Do me a favor and cut to the chase. I have more important things to do than drinking.
Much obliged, sir. As it happens, the matter I want to address is also related to magic. Yesterday morning, a warning letter from the Phantom Weasel appeared on the entrance to the Opera House. He claims to be planning something for the same evening that I'm scheduled to do a magic show there. As such, I believe that I may well be his target. I have to get to the bottom of this to ensure that my show can go ahead as planned. Naturally, any investigation into the Weasel starts with a few questions about Caesar, who...
What is there to investigate? Caesar was the Weasel and he's been dead for 10 years. So what if some sick creep thought it'd be funny to write a warning letter? It changes nothing. Are you trying to tell me you actually bought it?
Please, sir, no need to get so worked up. I do concede that a copycat is but one possibility.
Possibility? It's a fact, Lyney. Look, my patience is limited, so listen carefully while I'm still willing to put up with you. The Weasel is dead. Period. Everyone knows that, so do yourself a favor and quit this investigation. It'll lead you nowhere. Look, if this affects your magic show in any way, I will personally compensate you for any losses.
You know, even though this guy's acting a little bit suspicious, I don't think he's the Weasel. I just want to throw that out there right now. I could be wrong, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh, sir, I'm honored, really. But this isn't about finances for me.
Because I think that they're trying to make him look suspicious right now. I think he just wants to forget about his, teacher.
My pride as a magician is what's at stake here, Lorenzo. Copycat or not, this person has thrown me the gauntlet, and I must meet their challenge head on.
Your pride? Don't mince words with me, boy. Just tell me, what exactly are you seeking to do?
I want to find out the Phantom Weasel's true identity. I have to know for myself what really happened 10 years ago.
What would that accomplish? And what do the events of 10 years ago have to do with you, anyway? Look, you of all people should know that a magician never reveals their secrets. And in any case, dead men don't talk. So if you really care about your magician's pride, then you'll forget about Caesar and move on.
Uh-oh. This is getting awkward.
Lorenzo? Is that? Oh, it is you! I know that big, booming voice anywhere. What's up, my man? Wanna grab a drink with me?
This guy's gonna spill some kind of big secret, isn't he? Because he's drunk.
Another day, I'm busy.
Oh, whoops. You may have heard a really loud noise just now. That was my air conditioner. I just turned it off.
Oh, come on! You can't be all business all the time. You know what they say? Live fast, die young. You gotta learn how to kick back and relax once in a while.
If I wanted your life advice, I'd ask for it. Now get out of my face and go be drunk somewhere else.
Sorry, my good sir. I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
Oh, hey! Edmondo. He and I are business pals. We worked together a bunch of times.
Huh.
This is your first time meeting him? Oh, he's always like this. Foul-mouthed and hard-nosed. Never heard a kind word out of this guy the whole time I've known him. And he wonders why he can't get a girlfriend, despite being, what, pushing 40, 30, something? Anyway, point is, a lot older than when he first got rejected by the girl he was into. And he's still into, from what I hear.
Here we go. Here we go, the big secret.
Shut up and get out of my face. Another word out of you and you can forget about doing business with me ever again. Do I make myself clear?
Sorry, I may have had a little too much to drink. All right, I'm gonna leave. Don't work too hard.
Yeah, it's not too hard to figure out who the girl is.
I think it's high time I made a move as well. If you really want to investigate this, Lyney, be my guest. But if nothing good comes of it, don't say I didn't warn you.
What could that mean?
Well, that fell to pieces in a rather spectacular fashion. Any thoughts?
There's something strange about him.
Totally. And what was all that about compensating you for your losses? Why would someone you just met make an offer like that? He's gotta be hiding something. And not like Gemma. She was a little suspicious, but this guy's definitely covering something up.
Like the fact that he's in love with Gemma?
I think so too. We need to look into Lorenzo more closely. That guy Edmondo seems to know a thing or two about him. He only just left. Let's see if we can catch up with him.
So what new secrets is this guy gonna spill? Aside from the one I already know about.
You okay there?
I'm like 99% sure that it's, that he was talking about Gemma.
Who are you? Oh, it's you guys. Don't worry about me. I must have had one too many. I just need to ride it out. I say way too much back there, didn't I? Yeah, I nearly talked myself into complete financial ruin. Note to self, no more drunken chats when Lorenzo's around.
So, he was serious about threatening to cut you off? Ugh, Paimon knew he was a bad egg.
Hey, keep your voice down. Don't go prying into Lorenzo's personal affairs. Bad things happen to people who ask too many questions. Or make an enemy out of him.
Oh, really?
What kind of bad things?
Don't even ask. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to cut this conversation short. I'm not crossing that line again. And take it from me, trouble with Lorenzo is one thing you don't need in your life. You saw him flare up back there. I don't know what you said to him, but clearly it touched a nerve. That's not a good sign. You're too young for this. Don't get in over your head. I'm leaving.
That guy was quite the character.
And there he goes. What do we do now, Lyney?
Shh. I think we're being watched. Someone was listening in to our whole conversation.
Well, that's a little bit suspicious.
Don't say anything and don't look back. Any altercation in the city will attract the guards. We'd better take this elsewhere. You followed us a long way. Why don't you come out and introduce yourselves?
Oh, wow.
So you're Lyney. And where's your sister? Ain't she with you today? Save us the trouble and go fetch her for us. Let's not drag this out.
Smooth-faced Pacino. Is that how you say that?
Paimon doesn't like the tone of your voice, mister. Who sent you, huh?
Save your questions, missy. You ain't gonna need answers where you're going. Capiche?
Looks like we can't avoid this fight. Now, I'm not the strongest fighter, so I hope you're ready to back me up.
Don't worry, we got this.
Yeah, these guys aren't even remotely threatening. Which is a shame, because I'd like for them to be at least a little bit threatening.
Right up.
Oh. Is he a long-range user? Yeah, he kinda is. Oh wait, he has a bow. So of course he is. Which means... yeah. Oh wow, that's interesting. Let me do that again. Huh. So he kinda like... he can shoot those things out and have them distract the enemies. That's pretty cool. That's like,
tougher than we thought.
it's kind of like, what's her name? Amber's ability, elemental skill. Except in his case, I think that he can just keep doing that with his charge shots.
Vision wielders are always trouble. Intimidation ain't gonna work like it did on the lady.
Come on, let's
The
scram.
lady. So, Gemma?
Hey, wise guys, we ain't through with you yet. Oh, they got away.
Oh.
Did you catch what they said just before they left? Something about intimidating someone else.
Wait a second, wait a second. Am I misremembering? Did Gemma have a wound on her hand when we met her before? You know, it's been several days for me, so I don't remember if she did or not, but I think that Paimon mentioned it.
Sounds like they just wanted to rough us up as a scare tactic, and they've already done it to someone else, but who?
Could it be Gemma?
You're right. She was injured when we saw her yesterday, and she acted like she had something to hide. Maybe she was too scared to tell us the truth because those guys had threatened her.
Well, if that's the case, she should be more willing to open up to us once she learns that those thugs won't be bothering her anymore. Let's head back to the cafe and see if we can get any information from her.
It's not like we captured the thugs or anything. You know, they could always come back. So, Lynette and Gemma.
Gemma?
Game? Okay, there we go.
What is it this time?
The game wasn't letting me continue.
We
for a
just
second
ran
there.
into the men who've been threatening you, and we gave them a taste of their own medicine. So, you can relax now. We're here to protect you.
What? Why? I didn't tell you anything. Why would they come after you?
Sounds like they're no strangers to you.
That's putting it mildly. I know them all too well, and I hate them with every fiber of my being.
Huh.
It's been 10 long years, and still every time I try to look into Caesar's death, they show up and warn me not to do anything stupid.
Well, that's sounding increasingly suspicious.
How do I know I can trust you? Do you really think you can get to the bottom of it all? And why are you doing this?
I'm afraid I can't reveal all the details just yet, but I can promise you this. I will expose the Phantom Weasel's true identity. Because you see, this is a personal matter of the utmost importance. I give you my word. Trust me.
Okay. How can I help you?
I've heard that Caesar used to have a magic workshop where he kept a lot of his personal effects. If possible, I'd like to take a look at them. Do you know where it is?
The Fleuve Sonde. But the place was sealed up by the police after his death, and no one's been there since. I also know that the Fleuve Sonde is dangerous territory. Lots of hostile groups lurking around. If you're serious about going there, please be careful.
Understood. Lynette, you stay here and take care of Gemma. Don't let her come to harm.
Got it. But if I'm staying here, I'm ordering dessert.
I mean, bon appetit. But stay sharp, too. They're likely to come for you while I'm away.
Okay. Alright. Power saving mode off. I'll start taking this more seriously now.
Let's talk to them.
Whatever you do, please be careful. If anything happens to you because you're investigating Caesar, I'll never be able to forgive myself.
With me here, nothing will happen.
So, the person I'm most suspicious of so far is the guy who said, when we went to the cemetery and we started talking to him and he mentioned Gemma being Caesar's wife or whatever, like the way he referred to her that way. I remember being like, you know, even questioning it, like why would he word it that way? He's the person I'm most suspicious of right now, but we'll see.
If Gemma gave us the right location, then the workshop should be right nearby. Looks like these boxes are blocking the entrance. Let's shift them away first.
You helped Lyney move the boxes aside. It looks like no one's been here in a long time.
Go. It should be just down here.
Okay. So we've got to go into the magic workshop. The magic workshop, once used by Caesar. Judging by the pile of boxes at the entrance, nobody has come here in a very long time. So let's enter. And I'll just go in with my current group. And we are controlling Lyney while we explore this place. And hey, I already like the way it looks. Pretty cool. Is this actually a proper dungeon? Wait a second. What's this? Okay. So, is this gonna move? Yeah. Just like I thought.
This was Caesar's workshop. Nothing suspicious here, just normal magic props. Let's head in further.
You call this a normal magic prop? Okay, sure. And some balloons and stuff. I mean...
What was that? Oh, is this one of Caesar's gadgets? Guess we must have triggered some sort of device.
Huh. Okay, oh, I'm supposed to aim with him, right? Whoops. Okay, there's one. And there's two. That's neat. You know what? I'm gonna heal him up before I get into this fight down here. Because I am gonna get into a fight. May as well summon those things over there.
And voila!
Huh. Oh.
Whirling snow!
I'd say that Lyney's pretty cool. He is a 5-star, right?
Whoa. Look. The doll in the box is glowing.
Oh, they're flying too. They almost look like you could stand on top of them, although I know you can't, but... Oh, whoops. Okay, there's one.
Something written on the card on this doll. Let's take a closer look.
Okay, wish list. I'd like a little dove. I want a robot with cool powers. No, you need your parents' permission to own a pet, and you also need to take good care of it. I've brought a fluffy toy dove for you this time. If you're ready to own a pet, I'll make a real dove appear for you next time. Caesar. Interesting. I want a bucket of fried chicken that never runs out. I'd like a new bag. No, there is no such thing as a fried chicken that never runs out, just as there's no such thing as children who never grow up. Also, eating too much fried food is bad for you. Make sure to pair it with something healthy, like a salad, alright? Interesting. Very, very interesting. Can you pop the balloons? It would have been cool if you could. There's like a little Easter egg or something. Anyways, let's take the elevator up. Yep. I doubt that there was anything underneath the elevator. Although, because of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, I'm always really, like, suspicious of elevators. There's a particular dungeon in that game.
These magic boxes are moving. What do we do?
One of them looks different from the rest. Let's investigate.
Oh, one of them is? Let's see. Okay, those three, and then there's this one right here. No, I don't know. You know what, let's just hit them as normal. Oh, what, did it reset? I don't know. Okay, you know what? I kind of got stuck in that mode there for a little bit. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh. I guess I was done with that. And the one that's glowing is the one that I want to hit. So, it's the one that's right there. Whoops. Must have missed it. There we go. Very weird. And I'm stuck in... Okay, there we go. You have to jump to get out of that. Is there anything up here? Not that I can see. Why is this area so big if there's, like, nothing else to do in it? Is it just for, looks? I guess it must be. Anyways. Good grief, how big does this place need to be? Not that I mind, that's actually kind of cool, but... a little bit shocking.
That's weird. Have we reached the end already? There's nothing here. Maybe this was a wasted trip.
Lyney, what are you looking at?
This place seems a little too ordinary for a magician's workshop. There's a distinct lack of mystery. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. I'm starting to wonder whether Caesar built this whole place as one big, elaborate magic contraption. If so, then there must be more to this place than meets the eye. Maybe a hidden room somewhere.
Well, Aether can see, like, things with his elemental sight, right?
Aha! If I just move this book, then hopefully... and... presto!
It did it automatically. That's a shame.
A secret passageway! How did you know?
I'm a magician too, and apparently great minds really do think alike.
Is that a treasure chest I can open right behind Lyney there?
Looks pretty big inside.
Huh.
Let's head in and take a look around.
Okay, it looks like there's more than one possible treasure chest for me to open. Wait a second. Wait, oh, there it is. Right here. Oh. But was there another one back here? Or is this just back the way I came? Yeah, this is back the way I came. Hey, let's continue this way then. And... some more enemies in here.
Now disappear!
Get rid of them very fast. You know what? Let's do this. Oh. What the?
Stay calm.
Never mind that.
Take flight!
Okay, now I can switch back to him, and I'm gonna use his elemental burst. Oh! I wasn't expecting you to be able to control it.
Right up.
What the? Well, that was cool. That was his normal attack, right? Yeah. Okay. Normal combo attack, I should say. Anyways. Gimme. Thank you very much. And take this all the way up. And more enemies. Cool.
And voila!
Let's do this very fast.
Hold the line! My apologies! Embrace the ice!
That'll get rid of at least one of them. Surprisingly, this one's doing nothing.
Stabilize.
There we go. I know that you should stay back when you're fighting with the ranged character, but I don't know why. It's like ingrained into me to stay close to enemies now.
Why have you stopped, Lyney? Is there some device in that box?
Huh. It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys go on ahead. If anyone makes a major discovery, let's rendezvous here.
Alright, see you in a bit!
So what are we going to go find? Let's talk to him again very fast.
The placement of this device inside. If I remember correctly...
Huh. It looks like a magic box where you stand inside of it and then you disappear, right? That's my guess anyways. So let's go all the way up here like it's telling us to. So we've got another puzzle to solve. And I think I understand what the puzzle is. Activate all the... yeah. So... interesting. I'm thinking that if I do this correctly... yep. I've just got to wait. I kind of got lucky figuring out the solution that quickly. But I'm glad that I did. Because that could have taken a lot longer. Neat. Oh, and it looks like a upside down hat. At least from the camera angle that they showed. So now we've got to go into here.
Wow! There's a hidden room here! Let's see! Oh, this bookcase is full of Caesar's own notes! He wrote a lot about the principles of magic. Whew. Much too advanced for Paimon. Hey, look! Is that Caesar's diary on the table?
It probably is, although I'm surprised she could see that from all the way back there.
This book's thick as a brick! Let's take a peek inside it, shall we?
About the wish list, yeah, let's start with that.
At one of my shows a few days ago, a child asked me how I pulled candy out of my hat. As a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. Next thing I know, today a whole bunch of kids were pestering me to pull all sorts of things out of the hat. So I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the meantime, you can write your wishes down. Well, they took me up on that offer, enthusiastically. As I write this, I've only just got back from running around all over town, buying the things they wanted. Boy, are my legs sore. I wound up saving very little this month, but that's not a major issue. I now have a bigger problem. How am I going to hide all these things inside my hat?
Interesting. About the children studying magic.
2 children came to talk to me after today's show. I don't know why they were out on their own. They looked much too young to be unsupervised. I do hope they got home safely.
Okay, I'm just gonna call it right now. Those 2 children were Lyney and Lynette.
Anyway, they said that they wanted me to teach them how to do magic. It's not uncommon for children to ask this, of course, but I've never seen any of them as serious about it as these 2. I told them that learning magic is very hard work, but that didn't faze them at all. It's like they already knew. They seemed so committed. I couldn't turn them down.
About Lorenzo's issues.
It seems like something's bothering Lorenzo lately, but he won't open up to me about it. Surely he's not upset that I agreed to teach those 2 children. I'll have to talk him around. I have a good feeling about those kids. They're naturally talented, and it seems like they're not new to the world of magic. They have all sorts of fantastic ideas. All I'm really doing is helping them develop a more professional standard training plan. They wanted to call me Master, but I told them they absolutely mustn't. Any magician worth their salt could have taught them what I have. They're the geniuses here. Compared to them, I don't deserve to be called any sort of master. With time, I have no doubt that they could become far greater magicians than I. My only concern is why they're so mature for their age. I fear they've had to grow up too fast. I don't dare to imagine what they must have been through. Gemma thinks so too. She doesn't like being around them. Says that their eyes are too piercing. They don't bother me, but then again, I've never been the sharpest tool in the shed.
Okay, so my initial thought when we found his diary was that we were going to find out that he's not the Phantom Weasel. Now, I'm fairly convinced that he's not, just based off of what we've heard so far. But the thing that's making me question the current Phantom Weasel's existence is actually the discovery of the children who wanted to learn magic from him, who I believe are Lyney and Lynette, because I'm thinking that Lyney and Lynette want to find out who it was that killed Caesar and framed him as the Phantom Weasel. That's just like a guess here right now, but I'm fairly certain that that's where this is headed. So in other words, the Phantom Weasel in this case actually really is Lyney and Lynette, but they're not actually stealing stuff. It's just fake. To catch whoever the real culprit was, 10 years back. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? We'll find out if I continue. Anyways, about the farewell.
It's nearly time for me to go on tour. I asked the two kids if they'd like to come with me, but they shook their heads. I once overheard them talking about their father and their mission.
Yep.
Sounds like their parents have other plans for them. I guess we'll be parting ways soon.
Yep, it's definitely Lyney and Lynette.
It's only been 10 days since I first met them, but I think that I've gotten a feel for their personalities now. They're very tough, but also very cautious, and they trust no one but each other. This, I fear, is not a good habit to have. They hide things from me too. For example, when I asked them where they live and why they wanted to learn magic, they lied. That's the thing about children. Whenever they're trying to cover something up, it always shows somehow. I can sense that their lives have been hard, possibly even dangerous too. They're not like other children. It's a shame that I can't do more to help them.
This guy sounds like a cool guy.
After thinking things over, I decided to tell them a bit about how I see the world. It's full of lies and falsehoods, and that is why we must find our own truth. P.S. I hope they won't find my nagging annoying. Children are so opinionated nowadays. Will it do them more harm than good for someone they've only known 10 days to lecture them like that? P.P.S.
Wait.
Maybe I'm overthinking this. Children aren't interested in grand philosophies. It probably just went in one ear and out the other. I bet they've already forgotten every word I said.
Okay, something tells me that they haven't, but they only knew him for 10 days? They must have learned really, really fast.
Oh, Caesar, Caesar. Just mind your own business next time.
Huh. Okay, let's stop reading.
Two magic geniuses with a father and a mission, huh?
Yeah, Paimon, you should be able to put this together.
Sounds a lot like he was writing about Lyney and Lynette, don't you think?
Thank you, Paimon.
So did they meet Caesar when they were kids? Let's go ask Lyney.
Lyney is not going to be there when we go there, is he? That's my guess, but he's going to have disappeared, and we'll probably have to figure out how he disappeared, which will be related to the magic box that we saw. No, he's there. Wow, I'm surprised.
Lyney?
Shh, hold that thought. As I expected, there's a lot of fishy things going on in this place.
Fishy? Uh-oh, what have you found?
All in good time. Before we go over our new leads, I want to tell you how a high-altitude escape is performed. First, the magician slots themselves into a magic box in full view of the audience. The box is then suspended high in the air, and a short while later, the base automatically opens. At this point, a dummy will fall out of the box, but it looks real enough to grab the audience's attention, and they start wailing and screaming. Meanwhile, the real magician, who has by now blended into the crowd, waits for a good moment to make their appearance and put on a hysterical performance. Oh no! Is that me? Did I just fall to my death?
Very vivid description. Paimon can really picture it. And then what?
The audience's gaze then turns to the magician, and by the time they realize what's happened, the dummy has vanished, as if everything that just happened was some sort of shared illusion. Of course, that's just how I think the process should work, theoretically speaking.
Theoretically speaking? What do you mean?
The inventor of this trick never performed it successfully. When the box opened, Caesar was the one who fell out, and not the dummy. He fell right to the ground from the highest point of the opera house. No one could hope to survive that fall. Not without a vision, at least. And no one else has ever attempted this trick since. My understanding of how it works is just based on what I could gather from his notes and the relevant gadgets here in his workshop.
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape has never been done, huh? Paimon was about to say how cool it would have been to see it in person, but if it's that dangerous, it's probably for the best that no one else tries to do it. Wait a second. So if a dummy's supposed to drop out of the box, then where does the real magician go? How does he get out?
Glad you asked. That brings us to the secret of said box. This box right here is the one that Caesar constructed himself to use in the performance, and it's not as simple as it looks. Inside, there's a device that only the magician himself would know about. Once the magician's inside and the box is lifted up into the air, the audience's view of the box is fixed at a certain angle. From where they're standing, they have a clear view of the front, sides, and bottom, but the back and the top are now no longer visible. At this point, the magician presses a button inside the box, opening a secret door out of view. He then escapes through this trapdoor onto the opera house roof, waits for the dummy to fall and distract the audience, and quietly returns to ground level.
That's way simpler than Paimon imagined. Even Paimon could probably do it.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, of course. The hardest part of this trick is controlling the audience's mood and reactions. That takes an exceptional degree of showmanship. There's the falling dummy, the miraculous reappearance, the pompous performing. Maybe the magician would even have themselves tied up before it begins to strengthen the impression that there's no escape. Many days and nights of careful research and painstaking practice would have gone into this, all culminating in a performance just a few minutes long, but one that still manages to transform the shock and grief of a tragic accident to the joy and laughter of a mesmerizing magic trick. Caesar was a highly accomplished magician, but unfortunately, even he didn't manage to pull it off.
So, how did it go so wrong? You said you found some fishy stuff here. Have you figured out what really happened?
Yeah, that's what I've been wondering.
I can make a pretty good guess. I looked into the case files. The magic box Caesar was using at the time of his death had the secret button I mentioned positioned on the right-hand side. And, sure enough, he always used his right hand as his dominant hand in public.
Okay. Nothing suspicious there.
But here's the strange thing. Most of the devices in this workshop have the mechanism on the left-hand side, including this box right here, which leads me to believe that Caesar was in fact left-handed.
I'm not sure where you're going with this. Why would Caesar pretend to be right-handed?
Because a magician can't afford to have their most basic habits stand out too much. People naturally focus their attention on the most important details of the task or situation at hand.
Makes sense.
But a magician needs to be able to redirect an audience's attention at will, so as to avoid arousing their suspicion. The essence of magic is getting people to believe a lie. If even the truth raises eyebrows, the falsehoods become all the more difficult to mask. And so, Caesar trained himself to use his right hand to align with his audience's expectations. Great magic always requires sacrifices. But in his most stressful and nerve-wracking moments, and when no one was watching, reflex would kick in and he'd use his left hand. That's why he set his gadgets with the mechanism on his left.
Maybe someone exploited that fact against him?
Exactly. I think that's likely what happened.
Huh, this isn't looking too good for his student.
Caesar
Not
would
Lyney,
have been under
Lynette,
a lot
but
of time pressure during the escape.
Lorenzo.
He'd have had mere seconds to open the hidden compartment, retrieve the dummy, then open the secret door and make a swift escape. But I'm sure he was confident. He would have rehearsed countless times to the point where it was second nature. He'd barely need to think about what he was doing because muscle memory would guide him through. So he opened the compartment, took out the dummy, checked everything was in order, and then went to leave. With his left hand, he reached for the button, and suddenly, his heart skipped a beat. It wasn't there. Much like when you reach for your keys but find your pocket empty, his mind needed a moment to process what was going on. Instinctively, his left hand would keep feeling around for the missing button, maybe for another second or two, until the bottom of the box gave way. With the stakes being as high as they were, just a 2-second delay cost him everything. The authorities would find nothing suspicious and conclude that his death was due to his own error.
When in reality, someone switched the boxes, and they did it to murder him.
Oh, really? The whole box?
But how would they be able to make the switch without being noticed? That would be difficult to pull off, no?
It would have to have been someone who knew that he was left-handed, and who could move his props around without arousing suspicion. Someone who was always by his side. Isn't that right, Lorenzo?
Okay, I was completely wrong. I'll admit it. I was wrong.
You just couldn't let sleeping dogs lie, could you?
I said that I didn't think that he was the guy, but clearly he is, or at least he's the one who murdered Caesar. He may not have been the Phantom Weasel, but...
There's not a lot of people who'd go to all this trouble for some magician who died 10 years ago.
It just felt too
I
obvious.
didn't want to have to do this, you know. Silencing you the hard way just creates more problems for me to deal with.
Yeah, sometimes when it's too obvious, I, try to find any reason not to believe it. There are some games out there I can't mention them because I don't want to spoil anything for other people, but there are some other games out there where I've done that, and just because I knew the answer and I didn't want to know the answer.
But I gave you your chance. I hoped you'd do what's good for you and back off like the lady, but you disappoint me.
You mean Gemma? So you are the one who's been threatening her!
Yes, although however stubborn she might be, she was never much of a liability. But you people, you never even knew him, but for some reason you just wouldn't drop it. Which is why you can't leave this place alive. Take them out, and make it quick.
Really?
Do your worst!
I would have expected him to at least bring something a little bit more intimidating than these guys. Okay, he brought a clockwork mecha, so...
Allow me! Whirling snow!
You know what? Let's gather... whoops. Wrong button. Let's gather these guys up.
Brace yourselves!
Oh. Oh, there we go. Something that's genuinely threatening. Or it would be if it wasn't dying really, really fast.
Order guide you.
Solidify.
Take flight!
Still. It's better than the little guys, at least. Oh. Well, that was interesting. Whatever it is that Lyney just did.
You kids are tougher than you look.
Had enough yet, Lorenzo? Your cronies can't help you now. I think it's high time you started talking. And what I'd really like to know is, why did you murder Caesar?
You know, my initial theory was that he was in love with Gemma, but now I'm not so sure.
If I had a Mora for every time you said that man's name. Of course you idolized Caesar, everyone else did. But I was the real genius magician. Me!
Oh, so he was jealous.
He was just an amateur who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I was the one who made magic into the fine art it is today. The aristocrats doffed their hats to me!
So it was jealousy.
Uh-huh.
Jealousy. Hatred, more like. I hated Caesar. All he cared about was his magic. He lived and breathed it. He poured everything into his street performances and his stupid tours like it was just a hobby to him, never bothering to think about Mora. What sort of fool devotes their life to the art of deception and never has a Mora to show for it?
Wow, that's a really stupid reason for killing him.
But the people loved him, didn't they? Oh, how they looked up to him. No one gave me a second look. All I ever heard was, "Oh, your master's amazing, isn't he?" Amazing. Yeah, so amazing that he was completely broke. Every other apprentice was living it up at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work, mastered all the skills, and it brought me nothing more than the life I already had.
So you killed him. Why didn't you just leave?
He forbade me from using magic to trick people out of their Mora. There was nothing he hated more than that. And with his reputation in Fontaine, it was too risky for me to go it alone. As long as he was alive, if I dabbled in my own brand of money-making magic, he would expose me, and it would destroy me.
Wow.
I had to kill him. There was no other way. He had to go.
Uh-huh.
And this was your only motive?
It was reason enough. What other motive would I need?
Oh. Okay, maybe he really did like Gemma, or does like her.
Well, I was under the impression that there might have been other factors at play. For instance, maybe you were in love with Gemma, but she was engaged to Caesar.
Okay.
In love with Gemma? Don't be ridiculous.
Guess I was wrong about that then. Next question. Are you the Phantom Weasel?
I am. Caesar was so strict with me. He insisted that his way was the right way. That the sole purpose of magic was to bring joy to the world.
Okay.
I never bought into any of that. I was more interested in the practical value of magic. Sure enough, it helped me fill my pockets with all kinds of valuable treasures.
But I heard that the Phantom Weasel stole from the rich and poor alike.
Oh, yeah! Charlotte told us that the weasel would steal whatever people valued, no matter how much it was worth.
That's just how it looked from the outside. What would any thief want with second-rate loot? I've only ever targeted high-value items. I stole cheap things as a way of practicing my craft. It was other people's overactive imaginations that conjured up the preposterous image they then dubbed the Phantom Weasel.
So, that's the story, huh? Well, I hope you're ready to tell it all over again during your trial.
What choice do I have? You're a pack of wolves, and you've got me between your jaws. You've seen what's here, and my last-ditch effort to stop it getting out has failed. What else can I do? So
Wait a second.
I've enjoyed power and wealth for the last 10 years, the likes of which Caesar could never give me. I wouldn't choose for things to end this way, but I regret nothing.
Very well. In that case, I'll contact the guards. Traveler, Paimon, keep an eye on Lorenzo for me. I'll meet you just outside the workshop when I'm back.
Sure. Let's talk to Lorenzo.
At least I can finally stop looking over my shoulder now.
A small part of me was thinking that maybe, just maybe, there was going to be some other twist where, like, it turned out that he was protecting Gemma, and she's actually the one who killed Caesar and is the Phantom Weasel and all that other stuff. But I don't know. I don't think that they're going to do that.
Lyney has told me the whole story. Lorenzo, do you confess to the murder of Caesar and to framing him for the Phantom Weasel's crimes?
Look who's finally developed a conscience. What kind of disciple murders their own master? I hope it was worth it, because there'll be hell to pay.
Looks like it's all over. What should we do next, Lyney? Should we start preparing for your show?
Let me think. Let's rendezvous with Lynette and Gemma first. With Lorenzo in custody, Gemma will no longer have to fear for her safety.
Good point. We should go tell Gemma the good news right away. It'll give her some peace of mind for sure.
Sure it will. I think that this is actually where I'm going to be stopping the video for today, though. So thank you very much for watching. The next time I play, I'm assuming I will finish this in the next video. And then if I do, I will be moving on to one of these, probably this one right here. This time, because this one is 9 days and this one has 7 days. And I'm pretty sure that this one has like story to it and stuff, whereas this one is probably just domain related. But anyways, yeah, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.